Hello and welcome to another sketchbook tour. This sketchbook is very special. I don't recommend it. I'm just saying that this is the sketchbook that I could get once lockdown eased and the shops opened. So I just went downstairs to the convenience store and got this really weird Amigos sketchbook. And it was like, my special field is arts and design. It will change my life as well as change many people's lives. So I thought it was very weird. But I got it because it was the only one they had. So I started on July the 2nd because I was intending this to be my sketchbook summer sketchbook. I failed the challenge. I had like about 10 pages left by the time the challenge ended. You're supposed to fill the whole thing in the month of July. That's the challenge, but I didn't do it. And yeah, as per usual, I started with this weird page where I think I can, look like a designer of an illustrator's sketchbook, but I give up straight away because I can't be arsed with that stuff. And we started doing character design, character sketches, which is what I enjoy the most. This is my D&D character. She's a druid, and she is very fun to play with. And then some action poses because I love those. This is my D&D character again. This is an actual thing that I'm making in the game, so every now and then I stop and I try to make this because we killed an owl bear and I got his skull and I'm just crafting myself a mask. Next up is I wanted some variety in the clothes that I draw, and so I went onto Pinterest and looked at some clothes and made little illustrations with those clothes. These are some of my characters from Graduation Nightmares, which is my comic, which you can read on Webtoons. Link in the description. This is Pet Shop Pete. Pet Shop Pete talking to a friend. Nothing too special here. Then random character, just because I like this face. These are my characters from Graduation Nightmares again. This is the protagonist, Helena. This is this is Pet Shop Pete, Helena. Burger Stand Ben. Randomness. And these are some, kisses and hugs and pushing people, because character interaction is hard to draw sometimes, like to look like they're touching, that they are pushing against each other and things like that. It's a little bit hard, so it's good to practice every so often. Now this is the beginning of a collaboration with a writer. We were just talking about ideas, and she gave me like a number of prompts, and then I did some illustrations with those prompts. She said like elementals, woodland creatures, and then some stuff about magic people, and then guardian spirits, people. And I was just jotting down some ideas. This is the idea that we initially liked the most. There's this little warlock, a little witch, and a little druid. Because I was playing a lot of D&D online during the lockdown, then I was like, yeah, I want to do the warlock and witch thing. Those are D&D classes. This is the guardian spirit one, which is the one that in the end we went for, actually, but more on that later. This is just a random character, just because I like drawing action poses, and I love drawing this section of the body, like the armpit, basically. Action poses of random characters. This is Helena and Pet Shop Pete. This is from another comic that I'm preparing for a pitch, which is called Lizards, and it's about lizards that are wizards. And this is from Hellback Summer, which is a graphic novel that I'm writing. It's not in production yet. And this is the typical moment in this type of challenges where you realize you're not gonna make it if you don't start drawing faster. So I went straight to 30-second gesture drawings on YouTube. I will put my favorite links in the description. I think we could use a little bit more light. That's a bit better. And a lot of quick 30-second figure drawing because I wanted to catch up with the challenge, and also because it's good to get your body warmed up for drawing. It's also good for focusing more on gesture. And as I said, I'm a bit obsessed with the armpit, so I started doing some armpit and chest and studies to understand better what happens when you lift the arm. Because I'm a bit, that's a weird part of the body. And I think that's why I enjoy it, because it does weird things. Ah, the little warlock, witch and druid again, little witch, because we thought that was the comic we were gonna make. Little witch again. Randomness, just absolute randomness. And more figure drawing. In this case, it was this lady in a swimsuit. And you know, it looks like nothing when you are making these quick figure drawings, but it does help you loosen up and get your gestures a little bit more fluid. And this sort of practice accumulates over time. Now it's a dude. This dude was quite good, but not as good as a gentleman that comes later. I'll let you know, and I'll put the link. Actually, I could put the link to all of these videos so you can see what I was drawing exactly. My hand. Also a good practice thing to do. Just draw your hand. And then again back to clothes, because I'm always drawing the same clothes and I bore myself to death. So you go on Pinterest and there's a lot of cool fashion shots. It's good to get variety in your clothing. More figure drawing. And more figure drawing. Figure drawing, it looks like you're doing nothing, but it actually makes a huge difference to your drawings. More figure drawing. Still, this wasn't my favorite. I'll put all the links to my favorites in a little thing at the top and in the description. Oh, if you're curious to what I was using these pencils like this. This is not great paper, so I tried to use ink and stuff, but it just showed through. So I was wasting paper basically. And here is my favorite now. This is like an old gentleman with a long beard, and he was doing these crazy action poses. He looked so, I don't know, so powerful when he did it, and yet he was so feeble, in like he was like a really old man. So I liked it. I like it a lot. He was a good actor, I guess. So I did a lot of that. Man, I'll put the link because it's a really cool figure drawing video. And this is a ferret, because there's a character in with lizards that is a ferret, and I didn't know how to draw ferrets, and so I drew some ferrets. And this is just thumbnails. You can hardly see a thing, because when I do thumbnails I normally do this type of thing first, where I'm just doodling, erasing, just very quick stuff just for myself. And once I figure out more or less what I want to do with those thumbnails, what I do is I clean them a little bit so that people can proofread them. So like these are the cleaner versions of those same thumbnails once I figure out what I want to do. So normally I do like 2 or 3 passes at the thumbnails. And I don't spend hardly any time on the script. I iterate more on the page. More figure drawing, more fashion drawings. Bad drawing day with ugly faces everywhere. And this is when I realized like I'm not gonna make it, so might as well have some fun. And I was drawing some like corgis with glasses and, you know, dogs eating dogs, because dogs are fun to draw. And, you know, cats with clothes, because that's fun too. And this is a height chart actually for Graduation Nightmares. So these are all my characters from Graduation Nightmares, so that I can see like their height and width in relation to each other. Here I'm going a little bit crazy, because there's like a man with a dog's body, and this guy is looking demented. This is quite cute actually. These are my characters from Hellback Summer, which is the next thing I'm gonna work on that is big after Graduation Nightmares. Oh, this video was so cool. This is a dude that is dressed as a cowboy. So it's great to learn about folds and hats and things like that. And actually he has a couple of guns as well, as quite useful for that. It's great practice and, you know, a bit of fun. Like I like this one, it was a good pose. I like this pose, that was a good pose. It was fun. Then there was this other guy that was dressed as a Roman, you know, like, I don't know, maybe a general or something. But he wasn't as fun, so I gave up pretty quickly. As you can see, like, I only did a few poses. And then back to drawing characters, random characters. And here I am practicing backgrounds and natural landscapes. Especially I really like rocks, so I was putting my characters in these rocky places. And I did a study, well, this is from Shonen Jump. Sometimes I copy from a couple of Shonen Jumps I have here. And I copied this from, I don't know, from Pinterest, because I like how these illustrations had a very clear foreground, middle ground, and background, and in their case they had like an extra layer. So I thought that was interesting how it was designed, and I went on and I copied it. So our Hellback Summer characters. This is Hellback Summer. This is Haikyuu, which I actually read completely over the month of August when I was on my holiday. It's a great manga. If you like sports manga, I think it's a lot of fun, so I recommend it. My characters. Some more of my characters from Hellback Summer. More of my characters from Hellback Summer. I'm still trying to figure out this style for this comic, so I like to draw and redraw all the time. This is a cat with a gun. And Helena, being tired, running, and all sorts of things. And more thumbnails. This is the sketchy ones. The clean ones for graduation nightmares I normally do on the computer, because I send them over to people to proofread, and that way is easier. Randomness. This is Helena with a big sword and her nemesis. This is all from graduation nightmares. And this is line work. I was figuring out the composition of an illustration there, so let's skip that. Random stuff. This is random stuff, but in particular I was looking at like samurai pants that I saw in a picture, and I really like how they were tied around the waist and how they fell. I don't know, it was cool. Thumbnails. Me. And yeah, this is thumbnails and some Doc Martens. And this is where I start to draw goats, because remember that comic I was talking about where we were going to do the witch, the warlock, and the druid? Well, we didn't. In the end, we went for the animal spirit comic, but instead of a rabbit, we went for a goat. So here I'm learning how to draw goats, and let me tell you, goats are weird animals. It's been really interesting. And then I was researching a little bit of how people dressed in Japan at the turn of the century. Goat that I finally went for in the end, and I had to like draw this section here where I show the structure of what I'm doing and the structure of what's underneath the wool, because it was a bit confusing. I don't know, they have very weird bodies. I was very confused by it all. And some illustrations of the goat with the girl. The girl is babysitting, so she has a baby in her back. And this is from the comic I'm working on right now, which is a zombie comic. It's 4 pages for an anthology, and here we have some zombie people and non-zombie people. This is the cook, and the cook when he's a zombie. This is the waitress. And I ended up just doing this with the waitress. I know how to draw now, so I can go back to working on the comic. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not the best sketchbook that I've ever had, but you know, getting a cheap sketchbook and just drawing a lot is as good as having a fancy sketchbook and doing fancy pages. That's my opinion. So I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.